Yeah. No. I am not a politician, and our party is not a politician that stands up and says killing people is the answer to anything. I'm not of a party where the deputy leader says there are some people who have less rights than others, because some of us remember history and remember world wars that start that way. We treat all our citizens with respect, and we try and move them from being criminals in that case to law-abiding citizens. Now, I'll share one thing that isn't really political. I run the anti-violence white ribbon campaign in New Zealand, and there are many men who commit heinous crimes to women in terms of violence, and also children. But there is one thing we know for certain, that when that man comes out of the justice system, unless we have helped him to change his views, he goes back and does the same thing to another family.
Yeah.
Which means that rehabilitation is absolutely vital. Now, you might argue that killing someone might be the ultimate way of ensuring it doesn't happen again. But that person will have children, that person will have parents. All of those people deserve to have their child or their son, their daughter, helped to make a transition. So let's not be the country that gives up on people. I know our Prime Minister said our youth are all druggies and can't do anything useful. This is not the country that Jacinda will lead in a few short weeks. Let's have some hope that we can make a difference. Close those private prisons that are there for profiting off misery, and let's do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you for your question. No. I'm going to explore what that no looks like a little bit more. Our prison population has reached 10,000 people recently and continues to climb. If we look at drug use as a health issue, and tobacco is a really good example, we used to have about 60% of the population smoked, and now it's around 20% and declining. And that's because we're not locking people up for smoking. We're treating it as a health issue, and we are bringing it down. People trapped in a cycle of drug abuse are doing a lot of damage to themselves and to their families. We need to rethink how we approach drug harm minimisation. And I'm going to use these words again, empathy and compassion, because these are complex situations, and being able to bring the support to these people and properly fund the education and the health support overall and over time will see the results. It takes time, it takes leadership. Again, the Green Party have been leading conversations around drug harm minimisation, and you would have heard about our position on marijuana. It's the same thing. We need to be minimising the harm that's happening to our people. And while we treat them as criminals and treat it as a criminal issue, it is a losing battle.
I have first-hand experience of this. I used to be a youth and community worker, and then I worked in a hostel for the homeless run by the good Shepherd brothers. When they set up the hospital after the war, it was for ex-servicemen who couldn't integrate back into life and ended up on the street. But in modern times, it's dealing exclusively with people suffering from a drugs problem. And drugs is an international business. We're talking about exporting. The drugs that are coming into New Zealand are making phenomenal amounts of money for the people who are pushing them. The people who take the drugs are not the problem, they are the victims. The people you should be going after are the ones who are making the money. And as Woody Allen once said, the mafia does not spend a lot of money on office stationery. Because it's all tax-free and it gets put away into Panama and all sorts of places, and then that money is used to buy houses and land. That's how you launder it. And if you want to know why Las Vegas is in the middle of the desert, it's because the mob needed a way to launder its money in enormous quantities. And that's why I'm actually against casinos. I don't know whether that's party policy or not. But they are the easiest way to launder hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour. And if you've ever had the misfortune to go into a casino, you will see the human tragedy that exists there. People who are addicted to gambling. The casinos don't do very much, if anything. If you want to lose your house and your savings and your children's inheritance, throw it on the roulette table. We're not going to stop you. So the answer is no. I don't believe in killing drug users. I actually believe in rehabilitating them and trying to get them back to some kind of normal life and finding out why they take the drugs in the first place.
Yes.
The people you have to go after are the dealers. And one of the laws of being a dealer is you don't use. If you've watched The Godfather, you don't use. If you're dealing the drugs, the last thing you do is become a user of those drugs. So, simple question, no, we wouldn't kill people.
Act also does not support the reintroduction of the death penalty, seeing as being a negative response to a community problem. We do support, though, National's focus on drug crime and gangs because they do spread out through communities. And Act's view is that you have a carrot and stick approach. So the stick is that 3 strikes policy applies, that if you continue to offend, you get locked up. But the carrot is actually starts with the education policy. And I was surprised when we had the discussion that some 70% of the people in jail can't read and write properly. So it's very difficult in that environment or with that skill set to be able to do anything when you come out of the place. So Act's policy says that if you acquire some of those skills while you're in jail, then your sentence will get revisited. And the plus out of that is that you will have people coming from prison that don't want to go back again or that have some skills that can do something useful in the community.
Yeah, that's good.